Before she slides back into your life, something shifts, and it's rarely a neon sign flashing her intentions. It's not a tear-soaked voicemail or a cinematic confession under the rain. It's quieter, subtler, like a ripple on still water. Her voice softens. Her texts carry a hint of warmth. Or maybe she tosses a random emoji your way, reacting to a story you almost forgot you posted. These aren't accidents, they're signals, the kind that always flicker before the "I miss you" message lands. Most men miss these cues entirely, either brushing them off or diving in head first, thinking she's ready to rewrite the story. But the truth? This moment isn't about her comeback. It's about your response. The man who stays grounded, who doesn't flinch, holds the power. On WisdomWavesAura, we're breaking down the 10 subtle signs she's circling back, how to read them without losing your edge, and why your calm, unshakable energy speaks louder than any late-night text ever could. Stay with me. This could be the difference between repeating the same old cycle or stepping into your true strength. It all starts with silence, not the petty kind, but the kind that carries weight. When the last message fades and the chat goes quiet, most guys feel the itch to fill the void. They send a meme, drop a "just thinking of you," or fish for a reply to keep the connection alive. But the man who watches WisdomWavesAura knows better. He holds his ground, not out of pride, but principle. This isn't about playing hard to get, it's about proving to yourself you don't need to chase. Your absence becomes a mirror reflecting her expectations. She's waiting, maybe even hoping you'll crack, that you'll send that double text to prove she still matters. But when you don't, that silence lands differently. It's not loud, but it's heavy. She notices even if she doesn't say it. She's testing your discipline, wondering if the man who claimed his standards will bend them just to be seen. Your job? Stay steady. Let the space grow. It's in that quiet where the dynamic shifts, where she starts to feel the weight of your absence. Not because you're trying to manipulate her, but because you're protecting your peace. That's the first sign your silence becomes the spark. Then comes her curiosity creeping in like morning fog. When you stop reaching out, something stirs. Why is he so quiet? Is he over me? Has he moved on? Your calm confidence, the kind we talk about on WisdomWavesAura, starts whispering louder than any text could. She checks your stories, maybe, scrolls back to an old conversation or likes a post from weeks ago. It's not random. It's her mind reaching for you before her pride lets her admit it. Most guys fumble here. They see that notification and rush to respond thinking it's their chance to rekindle. But the man who's tuned into WisdomWavesAura doesn't bite. He knows curiosity isn't commitment. It's just her heart nudging her ego, admitting she feels the void. Your move? Keep growing. Hit the gym, chase your goals, find your peace. Let her wonder what she walked away from. Her curiosity is the second sign, and it's proof your absence is louder than your words ever were. If you're living this, drop "I choose growth" in the comments on WisdomWavesAura. Let's see who's walking the path. Next, she starts snooping through others. A classic move before she dares to reach out directly. She's not texting you yet, but she's asking a mutual friend, "Hey, how's he doing?" Or dropping your name in a casual chat with a cousin. It sounds innocent, but it's calculated. She's peeking into your world without risking her pride. Maybe she reacts to an old post, checks your profile, or asks someone about that trip you took. It's her way of testing if the door's still open without knocking herself. Most men hear "she asked about you" and lose their cool. They take it as a green light, texting her to clear the air. But the WisdomWavesAura mindset is different. You don't chase whispers, you don't read into secondhand signals. If she wants back in, she'll show up directly, not through proxies. Your focus stays on your path, building, growing, staying grounded. This indirect snooping is the third sign, and it's her way of feeling close without being vulnerable. Stay firm and let her make the next move. Then memories start to betray her. Life has a funny way of reminding her what she left behind, and it's not always dramatic. She hears that song you both loved in a coffee shop, and suddenly she's not just listening, she's feeling. She passes someone wearing your cologne, and her heart skips, not because she saw you, but because she thought she might. That old hoodie of yours buried in her closet. One lazy Sunday, she throws it on and it hits her. The weight of you, your presence, your calm. These moments aren't planned. They're triggers, pulling her back to what was. On WisdomWavesAura, we know the power of letting life do the work. You don't need to send her that old playlist or text, "Remember when?" Her own mind is already doing the heavy lifting. While she's wrestling with nostalgia, you're moving forward, not trapped in the past, but learning from it. You ask yourself, what did that season teach me? And keep building. Her memories are the fourth sign, and they're proof the past still lingers. Not for you, but for her. Soon she starts mirroring your growth, and this one's easy to miss. You're leveling up, hitting the gym, sharpening your mind, chasing your purpose. Suddenly she's posting workout selfies, talking about new beginnings, or sharing quotes about purpose. It's not always admiration. Sometimes it's fear. Fear of being left behind. The man who follows WisdomWavesAura doesn't grow to impress. He grows to honor himself. But your progress creates ripples. She sees you evolving, and it shakes her. Maybe she thought she'd outgrow you, but now you're outpacing her. Most guys pause their grind when they see her mimicking their moves, thinking it's a sign to reconnect, but you keep pushing. Your growth isn't bait, it's a boundary. Let her mirror you, but don't slow down. Her sudden glow-up is the fifth sign, and it's her way of trying to match the man you're becoming. Keep rising, and let her catch up on her own terms. Then come the subtle signals, not grand gestures, but whispers. Don't expect a tearful apology or a bouquet of roses. It's a hey out of nowhere, a reaction to your story, or a meme you both laughed at ages ago. On the surface, it's nothing, but beneath, it's a test. She's checking your vibe, seeing if you're still open without risking her ego. This is the sixth sign, and it always shows up before she fully returns. Most men jump at these crumbs, reading every emoji like it's a love letter. But the WisdomWavesAura man stays cool. You don't confuse curiosity with commitment. A haha to your story doesn't mean she's ready to rebuild. It means she's testing the waters. Your job? Observe. Don't overreact. Respond if you choose, but keep it light, grounded, intentional. Let her signals evolve before you invest. Stay unshakable, and she'll feel the strength in your restraint. Old conversations start resurfacing next, and this one's a trap. She brings up that trip you never took, the coffee shop you planned to try, or a random inside joke. Remember when we almost went to Greece? She texts out of nowhere. It feels nostalgic, but it's strategic. She's tugging at old threads to see if they still hold, reopening the door without stepping inside. Most guys fall for it, thinking it's time to pick up where they left off. But on WisdomWavesAura, we see through the haze. You don't leap at sentiment. You ask, what's her intention? Revisiting the past is easier than facing the present, and she's testing if you'll settle for nostalgia over accountability. Stay grounded. Note the move, but don't get swept away. This is the seventh sign, and it's her way of feeling close without being vulnerable. Let her words echo, but let your clarity lead. Then she starts feeling your absence in her routine, and this one hits deep. It's not just you she misses. It's how you made her feel. Your calm, your steadiness, the way you listened fully. She goes to that coffee shop you loved, and the empty chair across from her feels heavier than it should. When something good happens, no one celebrates it with your quiet pride. When life gets messy, no one balances her like you did. This is the eighth sign, and it's inevitable. On WisdomWavesAura, we know the power of walking away with grace. You didn't vanish to punish her. You left to protect your peace, but that absence, it lingers. She compares new guys to you and they fall short. Not because they're bad, but because they lack your depth, your presence. You're not chasing her memories, you're becoming part of them. Let her feel the void, it's not your job to fill it. She starts testing the waters more directly now with casual check-ins. Just seeing how you're doing. Or, do you still go to that gym? It sounds innocent, but it's not about the gym, it's about you. She's gauging your vibe, wondering if there's still space for her without admitting she wants back in. This is the 9th sign, and it's a precursor to any real return. Most men see that text and pour out their heart, thinking it's go time. But the WisdomWavesAura man pauses. You don't grasp at crumbs. You read between the lines but don't cling to them. If you reply, it's measured, not desperate. You're not chasing meaning in her small talk. You're living your truth. Let her test the waters but don't dive in. Your calm shows her the man she underestimated isn't waiting. He's thriving. Finally, her words soften, but your standards stay sharp. Her texts lose their edge, carrying a warmth you haven't seen in months. Saw something that reminded me of you, or hope you're doing okay. It's not random. It's a shift. But here's the catch. Softness isn't always substance. Sometimes it's curiosity, sometimes comfort, sometimes just a test. This is the 10th sign, and it's where most men slip. They mistake kindness for commitment, opening the door without asking what's changed. On WisdomWavesAura, we don't get swept away. You listen with a clear mind, not a hungry heart. You welcome warmth but demand consistency. If she's serious, she'll show it with actions, not just sweet words. Stay grounded. You don't need her return to feel whole. You need truth, respect, alignment. Anything less is just an echo, and you've outgrown that noise. As the silence grows heavier, remember this. Before she comes back, the world shifts. Her energy changes. Her signals flicker, but the man who doesn't flinch doesn't just win her attention, he earns her respect. Presence without desperation is rare, and strength without noise is unforgettable. On WisdomWavesAura, we're not here to chase, we're here to grow, with peace, power, and purpose. Drop a comment below if you've felt this shift, if you've walked through the quiet and come out stronger. Type "stillness is strength" to show you're on the path. Share your story. It might light the way for someone else. If this hit home, share it with a friend still caught in the storm, and subscribe to WisdomWavesAura for more truths to keep you grounded. Until next time, stay unshakable. The shift before her return isn't always loud, but it's always real. It's not about her words, it's about her energy, the way she starts circling back without admitting it. On WisdomWavesAura, we've mapped out the signs, but let's dig deeper into why they matter and how you navigate them without losing your edge. The first sign, your silence, isn't just about not texting, it's about reclaiming your power. Most men feel the urge to fix the disconnect, to send that one message that'll bring her back. But every time you resist, you're proving to yourself you're enough. That's the foundation of everything we teach on WisdomWavesAura. Your absence isn't a game, it's a boundary, a declaration that you value your peace over her validation. When she feels that shift, when your name stops lighting up her phone, she starts to question her choice. Not because you're loud, but because you're gone. Curiosity, the second sign, is her mind's way of admitting she underestimated you. She thought you'd chase, that you'd beg for her attention, but when you don't, she's left wondering. Maybe she checks your profile late at night, or pauses on a story you posted with a new vibe. On WisdomWavesAura, we call this the echo of your growth. You're not posting to get her attention, you're living for you. But she feels it. Her curiosity isn't just about missing you, it's about realizing you're not the man she left. You're stronger, sharper, more centered. Most guys ruin this moment by jumping back in, texting to see where she's at. But you let her stew. You keep building. Your body, your mind, your purpose. Her wondering is her problem, not yours. That's the power of staying disciplined. When she starts snooping through others, the third sign, it's her way of staying safe. She's not ready to risk a direct text, so she goes through back channels. A friend mentions she was asking about you, or she reacts to an old post to gauge your response. It's subtle, but it's deliberate. On WisdomWavesAura, we don't chase shadows. You don't take the bait and text her just because she's circling. You stay focused on your path, knowing that if she's serious, she'll step up. This phase is about her feeling out your world without committing. Your job is to keep living, not to perform for her spies. Let her gather intel. It only proves your absence is hitting harder than you thought. Memories, the fourth sign, are her heart's way of betraying her ego. She doesn't need you to remind her of the good times. Life does it for her. a random song, a familiar scent, or that old jacket of yours she never returned. These moments catch her off guard, pulling her back to what you had. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we trust the process. You don't need to nudge her nostalgia with a "remember when" text. Her own mind is already working against her. While she's wrestling with the past, you're making peace with it. You're not stuck replaying old highlights, you're writing new chapters. That contrast between her nostalgia and your progress is what makes her pause. She's not just missing you, she's missing the version of herself she was with you. Let her feel it. Your growth is your answer. Her mirroring your growth, the fifth sign, is where things get interesting. You're hitting the gym, stacking, wins, finding clarity. Suddenly, she's posting about her own transformation, workouts, vision boards, self-help quotes. It's not always because she's inspired. Sometimes it's panic. She sees you leveling up and realizes she's not keeping pace. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we grow for ourselves, not for applause. But your progress sends shockwaves. Most men slow down when they see her mimicking their moves, thinking it's a sign to reconnect. But you keep climbing. Your growth isn't a lure. It's a line in the sand. If she wants to match you, she'll need to do more than post about it. This phase shows she's feeling your momentum, but it's not your job to wait for her to catch up. Keep pushing and let her actions speak. The subtle signals, the sixth sign, are where she starts testing the surface. A "hey" text, a story reaction, or a shared meme from way back. It's not a grand gesture, it's a whisper checking. If you're still open, on Wisdom Waves Aura, we don't overread these crumbs. Most guys see a notification and lose their cool, pouring out their feelings like it's a second chance. But you stay sharp. A signal isn't a promise. It's just movement, and movement isn't always progress. If you respond, keep it light, intentional, grounded. Don't chase her curiosity, let it grow. This phase is about restraint, showing her you're not desperate for her attention. Your calm response, or lack thereof, is what sets you apart. When old conversations resurface, the seventh sign, it's a nostalgia trap. She brings up that trip you never took, or a random plan you laughed about. Remember when we said we'd try that taco truck? It feels warm, familiar, but it's a test. She's tugging at old threads to see if you'll unravel. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we don't fall for sentiment alone. You note the move, but you don't dive in. She's revisiting the past because it's safer than facing the present. Most guys take this as a sign to start planning again, but you ask, what's changed? If she's serious, she'll bring more than memories. She'll bring accountability. Stay clear-headed and let her show her true intentions. Her feeling your absence in her routine, the eighth sign, is where the void hits hardest. It's not just you she misses, it's your energy, your steadiness, the way you made her feel safe. She notices it in small moments, sitting at your old spot in the cafe or when no one matches your quiet pride in her wins. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we know the power of walking away with grace. You didn't disappear to hurt her, you left to honor yourself. But that absence, it's loud. She compares others to you and they don't measure up. Not because you're perfect, but because your presence was rare. You're not chasing her heart, you're living in your truth, and that's what she can't replace. Let her feel the gap. It's not your job to fill it. When she starts testing the waters more directly, the ninth sign, it's with casual check-ins. Just seeing how you're doing, or still hitting that gym. It's not about the question, it's about your response. She's checking if there's still room for her without bearing her soul. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we don't jump at breadcrumbs. Most men see a text and think it's time to pour out their heart. But you pause. You read the vibe, not the words. If you reply, it's from a place of strength, not need. You're not decoding her small talk. You're showing her you're whole without her. Let her test the waters, but don't swim out to meet her. Your grounded energy shows her the man she walked away from isn't waiting, he's thriving. Finally, when her words soften, the 10th sign, your standards must stay razor sharp. Her texts lose their edge, carrying a warmth that feels new. Saw something that made me think of you, or hope you're good. It's not random, it's a shift. But softness isn't always depth. Sometimes it's just a test, a way to feel close without committing. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we don't get swept away by sweet words. Most men mistake kindness for a contract, opening the door without checking what's behind it. But you listen, with clarity, not hunger. You welcome warmth but demand consistency. If she's serious, she'll prove it with actions, not just vibes. You don't need her return to feel complete. You need truth, respect, alignment. Anything less is just noise, and you've outgrown that. The journey doesn't end with her signals. It ends with your choice. Before she comes back, the world tilts. Her energy shifts. Her signals flare. But the man who stays unshaken doesn't just hold her attention. He commands her respect. Dakar, Wisdom Waves Aura. We're not here to chase fleeting connections. We're here to build lasting strength. Presence without desperation is magnetic, and strength without noise is eternal. If you've felt this shift, if you've walked through the silence and come out clearer, drop "Stillness is Strength" in the comments on Wisdom Waves Aura. Share your story. It might be the spark someone else needs. If this resonated, hit that subscribe button on Wisdom Waves Aura and share it with a friend still navigating the storm. Until next time, stay grounded, stay growing, stay you. Let's circle back and unpack why these signs matter. Because on Wisdom Waves Aura, it's not just about spotting her moves, it's about mastering your own. Your silence, the first sign, isn't about punishment, it's about power. Every time you resist the urge to text, you're reclaiming your worth. You're saying, "I don't need her validation to feel whole." That's the kind of mindset we cultivate on Wisdom Waves Aura. When she feels that absence, when your name stops popping up, she starts questioning her decision. Not because you're screaming for her attention, but because you're not. That's the alchemy of discipline, turning your restraint into her reflection. Her curiosity, the second sign, is where the tide turns. She thought you'd chase, that you'd be the one begging for closure. But when you don't, she's left with questions. Who's he becoming? Why is he so calm? On Wisdom Waves Aura, we know this is the echo of your evolution. You're not posting to flex, you're living for you. But she sees it. She feels the shift in your energy, the way you carry yourself with purpose. Most men ruin this by jumping back in, texting to test the waters themselves. But you let her stew. You keep stacking wins, physical, mental, emotional. Her curiosity is her heart admitting what her pride won't. You're not the man she left behind. That's your leverage, and it's earned through discipline. When Makanai, she snoops through others, the third sign. It's her playing it safe. She's not ready to risk a direct move, so she sends out feelers, friends, family, subtle likes on old posts. It's her way of staying in your orbit without committing. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we don't chase echoes. You don't text her just because a friend says she was asking about you. You stay focused, knowing that if she's serious, she'll show up herself. This phase is about her testing your resolve. Your job is to keep building, not to perform for her proxies. Let her gather her intel. It only proves your absence is louder than you thought. Memories, the fourth sign, are where her heart starts to crack. Life doesn't let her forget you. It throws reminders in her path. A song, a scent, a random moment that pulls her back to what you shared. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we trust the universe to do its work. You don't need to send her that old photo or text, "Remember when?" Her own mind is already replaying the highlights. While she's caught in nostalgia, you're moving forward, using the past to sharpen your clarity, not to trap you. That contrast, her longing versus your progress, is what shifts the dynamic. She's not just missing you, she's missing the stability you brought. Let her feel it. Your evolution is your answer. Her mirroring your growth, the fifth sign, is where she starts to panic. You're hitting new heights physically, mentally, emotionally, and she feels it. Suddenly, she's posting about her own journey, chasing goals she never mentioned before. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we grow for ourselves, not for show. But your progress sends shockwaves. She's not always copying you out of admiration. Sometimes it's fear of being left behind. Most men slow down when they see her trying to keep up. thinking it's a sign to reconnect. But you keep climbing. Your growth isn't a game, it's your truth. Let her mirror you, but don't wait for her to catch up. Her sudden shift is proof your momentum is shaking her world. The subtle signals, the sixth sign, are her first direct test. A hey text, a story reaction, a meme you both loved. It's not a grand gesture. It's a probe checking if you're still open. On WisdomWavesAura, we don't overplay these moments. Most guys see a notification and lose their cool, thinking it's time to pour out their soul. But you stay grounded. A signal isn't a contract. It's just curiosity, and curiosity isn't commitment. If you respond, keep it light, intentional, rooted in your strength. Let her signals grow before you invest. Your restraint is what sets you apart, showing her you're not starving for her attention. When old conversations resurface, the seventh sign, it's a nostalgia play. She brings up that plan you never followed through on, or a random memory that feels warm. Remember when we talked about hiking that trail? It's not just reminiscing. It's a test. She's checking if you'll bite, if you'll chase the past. On WisdomWavesAura, we see through the fog. You don't leap at sentiment, you ask, what's her endgame? She's revisiting the past because it's safer than addressing the present. Most guys fall for it thinking it's time to rebuild, but you stay clear, demanding more than memories. If she's serious, she'll bring accountability, not just nostalgia. Let her words land, but let your clarity guide you. Her feeling your absence in her routine, the eighth sign, is where the void hits deepest. It's not just you she misses, it's your essence, your calm, the way you made her feel grounded. She notices it in quiet moments, when no one celebrates her wins like you did, or when life's chaos lacks your balance. On WisdomWavesAura, we know the power of leaving with grace. You didn't vanish to hurt her, you left to honor yourself. But that absence, it's deafening. She compares others to you and they don't stack up. Not because you're flawless, but because your presence was unique. You're not chasing her heart, you're living your truth, and that's what she can't replace. Let her feel the gap. It's not your job to close it. When she tests the waters directly, the ninth sign, it's with small, safe moves. Just checking in, or still into that coffee spot. It's not about the question, it's about your response. She's probing your vibe, seeing if there's still room for her. On WisdomWavesAura, we don't chase breadcrumbs. Most men see a text and think it's time to spill their feelings, but you pause. You read the energy, not the words. If you reply, it's from strength, not need. You're not decoding her small talk. You're showing her you're whole without her. Let her test the waters, but don't swim out to meet her. Your grounded energy proves you're not waiting, you're thriving. When her words soften, the 10th sign, your standards must stay ironclad. Her texts lose their bite, carrying a warmth that feels new. Thought of you today, or hope you're good. It's not random, it's a shift. But softness isn't always substance. Sometimes it's just a test, a way to feel close without committing. On WisdomWavesAura, we don't get lost in sweet words. Most men mistake kindness for a promise, opening the door without checking what's behind it. But you listen with clarity, not desperation. You welcome warmth but demand consistency. If she's serious, she'll prove it with actions, not just vibes. You don't need her return to feel complete. You need truth, respect, alignment. Anything less is just an echo, and you've outgrown that. The real power lies in your response to these signs. On WisdomWavesAura, we're not just decoding her moves, we're mastering ours. Before she comes back, the energy shifts, but the man who stays unshaken doesn't just hold her gaze, he earns her respect. Presence without desperation is magnetic, and strength without noise is timeless. If you've walked this path, felt the silence, and come out stronger, drop "stillness is strength" in the comments on WisdomWavesAura. Share your journey. It might be the light someone else needs. Hit subscribe on WisdomWavesAura and share this with a friend still caught in the chase. Until next time, stay grounded, stay growing, stay true.